How to light a sauna. In this video, I'll show you how to design the lighting in your sauna step by step. I'm Anton, a Finnish sauna enthusiast. I've helped thousands of people and businesses design saunas that actually work as they should, and now let's talk about the lighting. Lighting is one of the details that quietly defines how your sauna feels. It's not about decoration or brightness, it's about how the space feels. Done right, it can turn a regular wooden room into a peaceful retreat. Let's go through how to do it properly, what good sauna lighting you should achieve, how to position it, and what equipment to use to keep everything both safe and beautiful. First, the role of light in a sauna. In a Finnish sauna, lighting is part of the atmosphere, and the goal is never to make the room bright, but to make it feel calm and alive. The sauna lighting should do three things. First, it should enhance the atmosphere, making it feel calm, very warm, and indirect. Then, it should improve the safety, so steps and benches are always visible so you don't stand on anything you shouldn't. And thirdly, preserve the feeling of the natural simplicity, not like a bathroom or office making it really bright. Traditionally, the saunas were only lit by a small window or a candle even. Modern saunas follow the same idea, just enough light to see, but not enough to distract. And that's why Finnish sauna lighting is soft, hidden, and really warm-toned. The light source itself should be invisible, and what you see is a reflection of the light on the wood itself. If you're thinking about brightness levels, you want the light to be low enough that your eyes naturally relax, but high enough that you can actually move around safely. Secondly, how to think about light placement. When you start designing your sauna lighting, think in layers just like the benches. Each light should serve a purpose and highlight a part of the space. First up is the indirect lighting, which acts as the main layer. This is your everyday sauna lighting used while enjoying the heat. The key principle is to light the space, not the people. You can do this by hiding LED strips or small light fixtures. For example, it could be behind the backrest so the light washes softly over the wall. Then you could also do under the upper bench to create a glow for the lower bench and the floor. Or then maybe behind the guardrails or handles, which also improves visibility and safety. This kind of lighting makes the sauna feel really warm without any visible glare to annoy you. Then we have task lighting, which is the practical layer of the sauna lighting. You'll also want to have one brighter light that you can switch on for cleaning, maintenance, or when people with poor eyesight, for example, use a sauna. For example, if the main lighting is dimmable, you could use it as brightest setting for cleaning most likely if it's bright enough. So you could pair this with the main layer and the practical layer all in one without adding an extra light. Thirdly, the highlight lighting, which is also the emotional layer. Some builders like to add a small focused light near the heater or the stones as it draws attention to the heart of the sauna, the source of the heat. If you want to do this, just make sure it's rated for high temperatures and installed according to your local building codes. Never place electrical fixtures directly above the heater unless they're specifically approved for that zone, because that tends to be the hottest spot in the sauna. Choosing the right light type. There are two main categories of sauna lighting. There's LED systems and fiber optic systems. First, about LED lighting. Modern sauna LEDs are small, efficient, and available in warm color temperatures. They can handle heat up to around 260 Fahrenheit, and it should be at least IP44 rated for that humidity in the sauna. You want to use temperature-rated wiring and always locate the LED driver or transformer outside the sauna room itself. LED strips are excellent for hidden and indirect lighting behind the backrests, under the benches, or in wall recesses, for example. When looking for LEDs for your sauna, look for dimmable, warm white tones that are in non-metallic housings so they don't get dangerously hot. Fiber optic lighting. Fiber optic systems are ideal if you want absolute safety and longevity. The light source sits outside the sauna, and the fibers simply just transmit the light without any electricity inside the hot room at all. They're perfect for ceiling effects like star patterns or subtle bench lighting. But they are a little bit more expensive and require planning during construction, but they'll last decades without maintenance. Color and atmosphere. Color temperature makes or breaks your sauna lighting. You want to aim for a warm white light, usually around 2200 Kelvin to 2700 Kelvin, which mimics the glow of a firelight. Avoid anything cold, blue, or color changing, for example. RGB effects might look fun in a spa or a lounge, but in a Finnish sauna, they just destroy that natural feel that the wood creates. Lighting should support relaxation, not stimulation. Installation and safety notes. All electrical components, including drivers, transformers, and power supplies, should be outside the sauna room itself. Keep the fixtures at least the manufacturer's recommended distance from the heater, usually that's around 20 to 4 inches minimum. You want to use only heat or moisture-rated materials, then also avoid exposed metal or glass that can heat up and cause you burns. And lastly, plan for easy access in case you ever need to replace a light. If you're ever unsure, it's always good to consult a licensed electrician that's familiar with sauna environments. Sauna heat behaves a little bit differently from typical indoor conditions, and safety must always come first. So here's one example with fiber optic lighting and also LED light strips. So in the roof, you can see these little dots here. Those are the fiber optic lights that light downwards towards the benches so you can see where you're sitting. And also there's a couple here in the backrest here. lighting upwards, highlighting the walls of the sauna. Like you see, it's trying to highlight the space, not yourself necessarily. That's why it's always on the edges of the roof, not in the middle, just so it highlights the walls, not just you sitting there naked. So, but here also you can see that you want to have some lights for the benches, especially the stepping bench and the second bench, just because so you stand here, you can see where you're standing, and the light here under the bench highlights where you should be standing and you feel safe then. You could also put these LED light strips in the backrest here, pointing downwards or upwards, or maybe both. I think it looks great. That was one example. Let's have a look at this one. This is kind of my favorite I will probably go for. So here you can see that there's only LED light strips used in this sauna. It's always my personal favorite. It looks really cool when it's indirect. You can't see the lights themselves, but you can see the light in the space. So here they've put in the backrest pointing up the lights and also down, so you can see the bench and you can also see the wall above it. On all of the backrests here are the lights. Okay, there is a lot of going on here. Making sure that this is dimmable is one thing, just so it's not as bright like you see in the picture here. This would be more for cleaning, I think. You can dim it down and make it a bit darker. But I think it looks really cool when you have under benches here, highlighting every step in the sauna, so you don't stand on anything you shouldn't be. So this is something I generally recommend for people. I think it looks the best. Of course, it depends on your own taste. But yeah, making sure it's dimmable is one thing I will go for. And LED light strips always looks good in my opinion, but that's your choice. Just keep it safe and you should be good to go. Lighting in a sauna isn't decoration, it's part of the architecture. So when you design it with care, it shapes the mood, highlights the craftsmanship, and respects the quiet and natural feeling that a sauna should have. Take your time when planning. Keep it simple, indirect, and warm, and let the light disappear into the wood. That's how to light your sauna the Finnish way. Thanks a lot for watching. I recommend checking out our video on sauna ventilation where we cover how to keep your air and low loop perfectly balanced right here.